"Get out of here. We can manage without you." My own mother and brother kicked me out of the house, thinking I was freeloading. Little did they know, I had been paying for their lavish lifestyle all these years while my father was ill. My name is Emily. I'm 27 years old. After graduating from college, I got a job at a company trying to make it on my own in the world. But it turned out to be more challenging than I expected, and I was mentally exhausted. So, I had to return to my parents' house. At first, while receiving unemployment benefits, I looked for new job opportunities. Then I learned about working from home and started freelancing. My university major was in a scientific field, so I could use my skills as a freelance engineer. Initially, I worked on small projects. Though the income was modest, the experience of working from home was very significant. Unlike most companies, I could earn enough money without interacting with people as often, gradually gaining confidence in my ability to work at my own pace. Then I found stable work, gradually got used to larger projects, and my income began to rise. About a year later, I was earning as much as a regular office employee. But the problem was that my parents, especially my mother, didn't quite understand how I worked from home. My father was convinced when I explained it in detail, but my mother was a bit old-fashioned in her views and fearful of what she didn't understand. No matter how many times I explained that I was serious about my work, she would always end with comments like, "How long are you going to stay at home?" At first, I thought it was for your mental health, but it's been over 2 years now. Maybe you should try working outside. I tried to explain this sincerely, but my mother didn't quite understand. She would say, "You're just doing something online," often doubting my efforts. How could I make her understand? No matter how hard I tried to explain, my mother didn't want to accept my lifestyle. She'd say, "Isn't it some sort of shady business or religion you're involved in?" I'd explain that I received regular payments and it was reliable work, but she refused to listen. "There's always the possibility it's just unemployment benefits. Do you think you can receive it forever?" Her worries were endless. I thought about living independently, but I hadn't saved enough money yet. During this time, my father's health declined and he needed care. He retired early and faced a sharp drop in income. "Dad, are you okay?" "Oh, Emily, sorry to trouble you, but I have my pension, so I'll manage." I thought about this, but considering how much Mom spent, "Are you sure you can handle it?" Anyway, it seemed we just had to make do with our savings. My father's face looked tired, perhaps anxious about the future. I spent years in college on my father's money, and even when I returned home after mental health struggles, I continued living off his support. Was it really a good idea to leave him alone and live independently? My mother was also confused by my father's sudden condition. I stayed home, feeling I could give something back. "Don't worry, Dad. I'll support the family from now on." "Oh, really?" my father said in surprise. "But I can't imagine you have such a big income." "Don't worry, Dad. My current income is quite stable." I showed my father my bank account information. He always understood my situation, so I believed he would be convinced. "Emily, I didn't know you were so good." "Yes, my income has increased a lot recently." "Then can you help us out a bit?" "Of course. You've done so much for us, so I'll support you from now on." "Thank you, Emily." This led me to support household expenses, my father's medical bills, and many other costs. I transferred a certain amount of money to my father's bank account every month to help with household expenses. Since my mother had been using my father's credit card for some time, I created a new primary card and gave her an additional card. My father saved as much as he could and asked my mother to do the same to save money. My mother said, "So, should we kick Emily out of this house?" Emily contributes financially. It would be much harder without her. Is that true? My mother wasn't convinced and doubted my support. My father persuaded her, and she finally agreed to let me live with them. I continued working, helping around the house. My mother took my help for granted and was very strict with me. Can't you finish your tasks faster? Sorry, it's not easy because I'm also working at the same time. You always say that, but is it really that hard? My mother didn't understand and wouldn't listen to me. I realized my relationship with her was becoming hopeless. My father understood what I was doing, which helped a lot, and we continued living like this for a year. However, one day, after a year, my father suddenly fell ill and had to be hospitalized. Every day, I visited him at the hospital. "Hey, Dad, how are you today?" "Oh, thank you, Emily. It doesn't seem to be getting better soon, but I hope it's a little less of a burden for you." Don't think about it. Taking care of you hasn't been a burden for me, but I know you and Mom don't get along. Soon after my father was hospitalized, my relationship with my mother worsened. I felt overwhelmed living with her, but don't worry, I still wanted to support both my parents as a family. I was especially grateful when I remembered how my mother made me lunch every day when I was a student and how she tried to cook dinner every night, but then something happened that completely changed my mind. My mother said to my brother Jake, "I've been waiting for you. You're late." "Sorry, Mom, I was a bit busy." "Hi, mother-in-law." "Hello, Laura. Thank you for coming." I was too shocked to say anything, then approached my brother Jake and his wife Laura, and they looked at me coldly. Suddenly, my brother said, "Somehow, we'll be living here from now on." "What? Why?" "Mom was worried. She thought it might be hard for you to live here alone while Dad's not around." I was surprised and turned to my mother, but she turned away. My brother said, "I hope this will lighten up Mom's mood a bit." "We'll support you, Emily," his wife said with a smirk, but I had a feeling there was another meaning behind those words. My mother said, "Thank you both." "Emily, I hope you're ready to work hard, or it might be difficult for you to stay in this house." This topic came up again. Although it was unexpected that my brother and his wife were invited to live here, my brother graduated from a good college and worked at a solid company. I'm sure he earned a decent salary, but I also worked hard in my own way. Could they manage even without me? A new life started in the house. Living with my brother and his wife was more challenging than I expected. "Emily, aren't you up yet? Wake up and make breakfast," yelled my brother's wife, banging on my door. "I'm already up. I work early." Indeed, I was fully awake and in full work mode. As a morning person, it was the most productive time of day for me. I wanted to spend this time without interruptions. "Really? Then come on. Go and make breakfast." "Oh, do I have to do everything myself?" Our family was usually free in the mornings, and we ate whatever we wanted whenever we wanted. My mother and my brother's wife were at home, and if it was for my brother, I thought it would be fine if his wife cooked for him. My sister-in-law said, "We're going to live together, so we need to cooperate, right?" I forced myself to help them make breakfast, but the three of them didn't seem satisfied. "Is this what you made for breakfast? It's not enough." I made a plate of soft scrambled eggs, a refreshing lettuce salad, fresh buttered toast, and juicy sausage. I thought such a breakfast would be pretty good, but maybe I missed something. "Then you don't need to eat it." Hearing that, all three looked at me in surprise. "What? What attitude is that? Who do you think you are? This is unacceptable behavior. You should help around the house." "But I have work too." "Oh, work? Really? I can't believe it. What kind of job is that? Are you crazy?" My brother and his wife questioned my words and mocked me. My brother, in particular, always looked down on me, likely influenced by my mother. He bullied me. Nevertheless, it took up a lot of my work time. I headed to my room, packed my laptop in a bag, and left the house. "Wait, where are you going?" I ignored my brother's voice and hurried to my father's hospital room. When I rushed into my father's room, he looked at me with a surprised expression. "Emily, what happened?" "You look flustered." I explained to my father what had just happened. My father looked at me in surprise. "I didn't know I'm sorry, Emily. Don't worry about it. Okay, you can choose your own path in life. I'm sure your mother will be more comfortable with Jake at home. You don't need to be where you feel uncomfortable. All I want is for you to live happily, so live your life the way you want." "Okay, thanks, Dad." With my father's support, I decided to leave home. When I returned home in the evening, there was a scene like out of a movie waiting for me. My mother, brother, and sister-in-law had serious expressions on their faces. "Where were you?" "Brother, aren't you supposed to be at work?" "I had to take a day off because of you." "How could you take a day off for such a reason?" Inside, I was surprised at how easily my brother took time off work. Wasn't that too irresponsible? Gradually, my brother and his wife's tone became increasingly aggressive. "Get out of here," was what he said. "Why?" I replied in surprise. "From now on, the three of us are going to live together, so if you don't want to stay, please leave. We don't need someone as domineering as you to support us." My brother and his wife tried to kick me out of the house. "Emily, stop it. You don't need to be here now that your father is gone." For some reason, my mother, like my brother and his wife, said I was a nuisance. Did she know how involved I was in this family's finances? My mother bought branded items every month, but what would she do when her allowance decreased? I was very angry. My mother, brother, and sister-in-law ignored my words no matter how many times I tried to explain to them. I think they were too rude. I couldn't take it anymore and came up with a little trick. First, I transferred money from the bank account linked to the credit card my mother used every day to another account managed by me. I thought it would surprise my mother a little when she couldn't use her credit card anymore. Also, I transferred some money from my father's account that supported family finances in the same way. Only my father's medical expenses could be paid from his separate account. My mother didn't know about this bank account. As a result, most family financial responsibilities fell on my brother and his wife. I didn't know the details of my brother's income, but I was sure he would feel this burden more than ever. After I completed all the formalities, I packed my belongings and said, "I'm leaving now." My mother, brother, and sister-in-law looked surprised at these words. They had oppressed me so much but didn't think I would really take action. But when I looked at their faces, they seemed to enjoy it. "You're finally leaving. I've never seen such a troublesome person. You're not coming back, right?" I couldn't believe they demeaned me endlessly. "Of course not. Don't bother contacting me." They smiled at me as I left, but what would they think after I was gone? I smiled at them inwardly and started a new life. My new home was peaceful, and I could enjoy my own time. I felt completely refreshed and could focus on my work. Then one day, as expected, I got a call from my brother. "Emily, what did you do?" my brother yelled on the phone. "What are you talking about?" I replied calmly. "Don't pretend. Mom's credit card isn't working, and I can't find any money in Dad's account." "Oh, about that? Well, I just took my money." "What? Your money?" "Yes, I've been supporting the family for the past few years. Didn't you know?" My brother was shocked. "What do you mean?" "I paid for all the household expenses, Dad's medical bills, and much more." Now that you kicked me out, I took my money. You're lying. Ask Dad if you don't believe me. By the way, I left enough for his medical expenses in a separate account. After that conversation, I received multiple calls from my mother and brother but ignored them. A few days later, I visited my father in the hospital. Dad, I'm sorry for all this. No, you did everything right. Your mother and brother need to understand the consequences of their actions. Thank you, Dad. I'll continue covering your medical expenses. Don't worry. Several months passed. I heard from my father that my brother and his wife moved out because they couldn't handle the financial burden. My mother now lives on her pension and had to significantly cut back on expenses. She can no longer afford those expensive purchases. I continued to visit my father in the hospital and take care of his medical expenses. Sometimes I wonder if I did the right thing, but then I remember all the humiliation I endured and recognize it was a fair decision. Now I live a peaceful life in my apartment, doing the work I love, and I no longer let anyone treat me disrespectfully. Did you like the story? Write your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next interesting story. See you tomorrow.